we just had the announcement that Harada is going to be retiring from the Tekken project coming up on its 30th anniversary. And like, what a better time to like look back, reflect on a legacy, and his contributions, and pair that with how much that means to the greater Tekken community. So I remember reading this tweet and thinking like, wow, like as much as it surprised me, it also didn't surprise me to a degree.
Right.
I don't know if you had a similar reaction.
Because he's been alluding to, some fatigue. He's been alluding to some like slight kidney issues. I think he said down 30% performance or something, and he had to cut alcohol. And then he's recently had some losses close to him, both mentors and just people he was close to in the industry. And I think he's been doing this for so long, and he's always talked about how much he puts into it. It was kind of a matter of time. But even so, I guess there was also a part of us that just sees Harada as Tekken, and Tekken and Harada are hand in hand. So even though we knew he was training people to take his place eventually, we knew he was passing on responsibilities, it was kind of something we all kind of pushed aside to, sometime in the future. So I think it caught a lot of us off guard how it's happening. End of 2025, he's leaving Bandai Namco.
And from your perspective, from someone who's been, really embedded in the Tekken community, what did Harada like represent? And like, what was his role to the best of your knowledge, especially going back, because he is like the face of Tekken. For someone who is more of a casual fan, like Tekken's my first fighting game, actually. I played Tekken 3. That's playing Paul.
I didn't know that.
Figuring out how to do Death Fist and charging that and cheesing my friends. Like, so Tekken has, I think, a big, long legacy for many people in the FGC today, even if it's not their main game. And since I've been a part of the FGC, like, to me, Harada Tekken, like, that's just whatever goes on in the world of Tekken, you can attribute to the guy Harada. Yeah. And from your perspective, is that the truth? Like, what did Harada mean to Tekken to you?
He stands out to me in like modern game development. I feel like there's so much shielding between us and the developers. Like if you asked me to identify a face with like Street Fighter 6, I don't have that clear image in the public eye of the dev team or someone who's front facing all the time. So Harada to me was always putting himself out there as the one making the announcements, as the one going to events. And what's also fascinating to me is that even in 2025, he was so front facing on Twitter. So he's constantly getting pinged for like, fix the game, this is all your fault. Yeah. At the same time as he's getting his flowers for putting out so much work into the franchise since Tekken 1. So I don't have a clear image in my mind of other developers who are that front facing, that kind of in the community and willing to interface with everybody and reply to everybody, even though he definitely has better things to be doing with his time, right? He put a lot of energy into, exposing himself to the community for both the good and the bad. So yeah, it's I can see why it would be time for him to move forward, right? Even after just doing this for 1 year, I find a lot of fatigue in interacting with so many different people online that we're loosely connected by Tekken, but we all have different interests and different priorities. So I can't imagine how he's done it for this long.
Yeah, I mean, the famous meme with him is "Don't ask me for shit," right? Like he's definitely he's out there public facing, but he's not a pushover. That's for sure. Like he understands that there's going to be many different voices asking for many different things at the same time, and that he's like, "Hey, we're going to have a vision, and like we're going to hear you, but like at the same time, we have to commit to one vision, and you like it or you don't." Like, which I think is rather commendable. But at the same time, there's been a lot of, I think, friction with that. Like I've seen public perception kind of take a negative turn from that mentality. I've seen a lot of people go, "Oh, I wouldn't expect more from the guy that says don't ask me for shit." Like in some ways, people see that as almost arrogance over the years. Like I've seen mixed reception from Harada. He's been a little almost controversial, I think, over the years, even though I think mainly he's been a beloved figure to the fighting game community. And I can understand why he would have that defense up and being in the public eye so much.
I feel like it's a consequence of just being front facing. The sense I got, especially after interacting with him a few times and following his tweets really close for a long time, is that he's as best as he can, he's trying to be genuinely in the community. So he has that "don't ask me for shit" as kind of like a meme. Like everybody's asking for stuff, just leave me alone. Right. But he does listen and reply to people who have concerns. But I think because he's front facing, it's so easy for somebody like walking by to see that and be like, oh, that's weird. Why is the developer saying don't talk to me? That doesn't make much sense. But his actions have proven otherwise for so long, you know? And it's like you said, they do have to commit to a vision and they have to stand by what they're going to do as game developers. But the fact that he's even putting it out there as like, give us your feedback, what are you interested in, to me is just way more than I would normally expect. So I think it's unfortunate that, he's caught so much heat and controversy, especially recently with that interview. He said something like, oh, Capcom is doing pay-per-view. It looks like the industry is monetizing differently in general. I'm interested in seeing how that evolves. How I read it was it seemed like a read on esports and the industry as a whole. But it got taken as a kind of a quote clip of like, oh, he's interested in doing that for Tekken. He's here to ruin the series once again. And it just seemed like yet again, the consequences of being front facing and being so interactive and vocal coming back to bite him. So it's a shame to me in that sense.
Hopefully you enjoyed that trash talk or extra trashy clip. If you want to see the full episode that clip came from, go ahead and click the link right over here. Otherwise, YouTube thinks you might enjoy this video right here. And for the trashiest amongst you, we get the merch right over there.